Hello, U.S. History 101 class. Um, Welcome to Spring 2023 session. And I want to say Happy New Year. Uh, Now, do not get nervous. Class has not started yet. And because it has not started yet, I am also not going to be as readily available to respond to any questions as I will be doing once the semester starts. Uh, I am currently working on several other things, but I wanted to open this now to give everyone a chance to kind of have some expectations of to know what to expect coming up for the semester. Um, so I posted the syllabus, which I may have to fix. So for now, just you'll see that that's the only thing I opened up in the modules, and that is just so that you can get an idea of what the class will look like. It may stay exactly the same, but I'm in the middle of working on some stuff with this right now. So again, this is just for you to take a look at. I am not sure right now what the status of all the books are or not in the bookstore, and if you're going to need to order anything online. So I'm going to show you the books the textbooks that we're going to be using. Again, I want to mention I'm opening this up early to help you all get a little heads up on some things, but some of you may write back to me very quickly and want a fast response. I may not be able to do that. I'm just letting you know. So I will do my best right now, but just keep that in mind. And like I said, moving forward, once the semester starts, I'm very much on top of communicating with all my students very quickly. I've been trying to contact Canvas. For some reason, I have former students that have been writing to me, but it's not letting me, Canvas is not letting me write back. And I don't know if that's because the semester ended. I've never had that problem before. So you may also write to me in Canvas, and I just can't respond right now for whatever reason. So I'm trying to get that figured out. So having said that, take a look at the syllabus, get an idea. So there's 3 books you'll see for the class, and they're not necessarily always going to be used at the same time, and they really all are going to be helpful. I'll show you what you absolutely you're going to be required to have, and I'll show you what I highly recommend. Okay, so the textbook, now your textbook may not look like this. This is the teacher's edition, and it has both volumes. You're just going to want volume 1 of the Visions. Okay, textbook that I have mentioned in the syllabus. This just helps give you the standard narrative that you would basically expect in most quality college textbooks. And in fact, if you have any US 101 college textbook from the last several years, it would probably be sufficient for this. And that's just something to help you, because you're going to see that in my lectures, I focus on certain things. I don't cover all those details that are in the textbook. I highlight certain things. And so that'll be helpful. And then I have the discussion books, which are required. You will need those for your discussions in some of the papers. The first one is this one. There's different covers for this book. Some I think are just red, white, and blue or something like that. But Howard Zinn, A People's History of the United States, Howard Zinn. Okay, this is a great book for discussion. I think it's fair to say that most college students that end up being in a college setting will come across this. Now, I will make this very clear. Is there a political bias to the text? You could argue, yes, this is a leftist professor. I mean, he's passed away. Okay, may he rest in peace. But I want to mention something. I've looked at other books for discussion that maybe are more neutral, just to see, because I know some students are concerned about those kind of things. This has proven time and time again to be a very thoughtful, it's a great book for discussion on more controversial topics of topics of U.S. history. And even some of my students that are conservative have told me, they said, Mr. Pollack, this is still an interesting book. It gets them engaged in the material. And so you don't have to agree with any of the perspectives. So I just want to make this very clear. I don't grade people based on your politics. I based on the quality of your work and following instructions. That's it, okay? And so I have my own views on many things that may or may not be what you think that they would be. But my classroom is meant to really help you learn quality U.S. history, but also be very, to engage in it in a way that maybe you weren't used to doing in high school. This is not about learning A, B, C, or D options on a multiple choice test. This is about actually you understanding what was the origins of the Civil War, why was there a Civil War, what are the results of that, what about the colonization of the United States, like what is this American project that we have, looking at this part of our history. And I'm hoping that you will find that you're going to be just learning a lot and really excited about what you're learning. So again, this book, you're going to read some kind of smaller chapters, so you're not going to tackle this entire thing, okay? You will be assigned to do some reading, and then you will have to engage with the material, and you can say what you think about the material you had, right? So it's not meant for you to have to parrot anything. It's meant for you to engage with the material again, okay? So this is also very easy to find at most used bookstores. It's a very popular book. Some politicians have targeted it as a book to be basically banned or outed for its, for its politics. But I want you to give it a chance. I want you to take a look, and you tell me what you think. Okay. Remember, I just want to see you involved with the information. Now, the other book, which is a little bit of a rough title here, and there is a revised, updated version which I have not been using, but you can use that as well. It's called Defending Slavery, Pro-Slavery Thought in the Old South, A Brief History with Documents. Okay. Now, this book is we're going to look at, and we're going to read primary sources when we get up to the buildup of the U.S. Civil War and we get into the U.S. Civil War. This will cover what Thomas Jefferson really had to say about slavery. It will cover what Vice President Alexander Stephens had to say about slavery and why the Civil War was taking place. It has primary texts of Baptist ministers defending slavery in sermons and making their cases for slavery. What a lot of students tell me about this book is that while they know that this has been an unfortunate part of our U.S. history, it's very jarring when you actually read intellectuals, people in positions that normally you would maybe look up to, and see that they're defending this idea of a totalitarian institution that now we understand to be morally problematic. One of the things that I want to also point out is why I'm showing this is to really draw attention to the documentation as to why we ended up in the situation that we were in, and the way that people would reason and defend those kind of ideas. That can be very difficult. I've had a lot of students tell me this was a little bit difficult to read at time, and also depending on your background and how directly or indirectly this would involve your own personal history. But I think it's important, again, what I'm into is quality history. I want us to have a real grown-up understanding of dealing with the United States history as it's been in reality. And I'll leave it more or less to you to decide where your ethics and your politics stand as to what you think the information that we learn, how it should inform you and what things you participate in now, okay? So I don't really try to drive this idea of a particular idea of a direction of where you should go now, as much as I think, well, okay, you have your own ethics, your own standards, your own value systems, but maybe you don't have the same information. And now, if we can get on board with the information, now we can really see, you will be the determining factor of what to do with that ultimately. So, anyhow, I really enjoy teaching history. I really enjoy having a diversity of students from all backgrounds coming in with a lot to say. One of the things you'll see in my syllabus that I point out is the discussions. We can really engage in serious discussions, but we have to be respectful for each other, to each other. I'll discuss more about that a little bit later on. Fortunately, I don't have a big problem with that for the most part, which has been nice over the years. But every once in a while, I get a student who has a strong opinion, and they really come at people. And, that person may even have ideas that I agree with, but I will not allow that in my classroom, okay? I also want you not to be so sensitive to feel upset if somebody challenges you. A challenge is different. And anyhow, if we come into some situation like that, please feel free to contact me if you see something that bothers you, and then we can have a discussion and I can analyze this as a professor, if this is college appropriate or something else, okay? And so that's for the most part all I want to have to say on all this, just to get you ready again for the class coming up soon. I think I will just leave it there. We are all dealing with a lot of extreme weather right now. I was up in Portland for a month working at my old job and seeing my daughter and family and friends, and almost got snowed in. Now we're having flooding everywhere. I lost power. I live here in Santa Cruz, and we had the power go out on New Year's. So in an online setting, that obviously causes problems if we lose power, okay? And I'm aware of that. So we will be in contact with each other, and if for some reason you're working in the online world and I see that you're in an area where the power goes out, you don't need to be worried. I will be understanding that. And if all of a sudden I go missing for a little bit and you're seeing Santa Cruz is having a massive weather problem and power outages, just know I'm not missing in action. I'll be back too. So we'll just get through that, and hopefully at least this drought in California might get a little bit tamed. So anyways, we'll be in touch. Welcome everybody, and stay safe.